semifinals and Brendan Williams beat me out. Still but then we had to drop out of college and come back for the episode.
Logan and Sarah. We all know who the real winner is.
Yeah, we do, so I'm not mad anymore. He still has a great trophy from George Mason. He actually has 3 from George Mason University.
Do you need any help with anything? Thank you. Got 2 stickers.
You need help with anything? I'll send people to go get it. Don't worry.
Yeah, if you got some help, I'll take it. Find me some help, I'll take it.
Logan and Alex.
Do you need any help with anything?
Right in front of you. Can you get that?
Got 2 stickers.
We're live now. Wait, you need help with anything? I'll send people to go get it. Don't worry.
Yeah, if you got some help, I'll take it. Find me some help. Everything good? Wow, the teams are still coming in. Purple hair! Yeah!
judging you and spend so many hours arguing on Facebook. I want you all to have a great tournament today. Please remember, respect your opponents, respect the officials, respect the staff, treat others as you would like to be treated in general. Have a great day, have a great World Cup, and welcome to the U.S. Quidditch World Cup game! Please stand for the national anthem. Have a great day. Sung by Nancy Hall. Welcome to the U.S. Quidditch World Cup game.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Please remain standing for the Canadian national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes opening ceremonies, perhaps for the first time in history, 15 minutes ahead of time. Have a great tournament. Game start at 9. Brooms up!
But that's not till, you know, we get close. Yep.
to run and go get some money.
I don't know what you can bring balls.
So you guys monitoring
What?
each of all these
Is this
games?
all? Yeah. That's it.
Testing, testing.
He's gonna play a minute.
Is this also playing the first two, or is it just?
Welcome everyone to U.S. Quidditch World Cup 8 here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. We are here at Manchester Meadows and just about to get underway with our first match of the day featuring the Lost Boys and the Clone Stars, the B team for the Lone Stars, who are the top team in the USQ standings. The Lost Boys come in as the number 3 overall seed in the tournament. And for the Clone Stars, they are the 77th seed. And again, they are the B team for the Lone Stars. Clone Stars have a record of 5-14. They're ranked 98th in the USQ. The record for the Lost Boys, an impressive 23-2. They are 3rd in the USQ standings. Just about to get underway. Alex Shear is our referee for our first match of the day. A total of 80 teams here at US Quidditch World Cup 8 in Rock Hill, South Carolina. A beautiful day. The teams are lined up. We are ready to go. Brooms up, and here we go. We are underway with our first match here on Carlisle Field. And early on, the bludger control is in favor of the Lost Boys. They have the quaffle right now, trying to get on the board first. A lot of contact, and there is the first goal of the game. 10-0 Lost Boys. Talking with the Clone Stars prior to the game, they are a team that is very, very aggressive. Whereas the Lost Boys are a team that will rely on their speed. It's the Lost Boys regaining possession of the quaffle. Scoring the first goal for the Lost Boys was Alex Brown. Not only will this Lost Boys team rely on their team speed, but their passing as well. And good bludger play by the Clone Stars. And a lot of contact opposite from us here in the broadcast booth. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is the U.S. Quidditch World Cup 8 here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. My name is Brad Woznicki, and I will be your play-by-play announcer for all games played here at Carlisle Field. Right now, there's still a player down on the field for the Clone Stars. Hopefully we will resume play here in a moment. The Lost Boys were eliminated in the round of 32 in World Cup 7. And this Clone Stars team, this is just their first year, so they did not participate in last year's World Cup. And they're a team as well. The Clone Stars do not get to practice together. They are spread all over the state of Texas. And right now it is the Clone Stars in possession of the quaffle. It is being walked up the field. Thrown behind the hoops. Ball still loose. And good bludger play by the Lost Boys as they now control the quaffle. The Lost Boys have participated in the Tournament of Stars, the Ball Brothers Brawl, the Keystone Cup, the Midwest Regional Championship, and the 3rd Annual Glass City Classic, as the Lost Boys make it 20-0. So far, the speed of the Lost Boys has been a little bit too much for the Clone Stars. See how the Clone Stars try and respond. And they're still looking for their first goal to try and get on the board. Thrown right back in front of the hoops. And the bludger play keeps Clone Stars off the board. Now the Lost Boys coming up the sideline with a lot of speed. That's Brown. And his pass, he was not able to connect with Brooke Lyden. Quaffle now controlled by the Clone Stars. The way this tournament is set up this year, it is in a Swiss format. There will be 2 sides with 40 teams each. And that shot no good. Still 20-0, Lost Boys. The snitch will be released at the 18-minute mark for every game. This is Brown going right up the middle, and his shot too high over the hoop. The Clone Stars, as mentioned, come in as the 77th seed overall in this tournament. Not a good pass in front, and it's a race to the hoops, and it's 30-0, Lost Boys. That one scored by Jeffrey Lynn. Great job there by the Lost Boys to take advantage of a bad pass from the Clone Stars. Stars trying to clear some space in front with the bludger play, but that shot comes up short. Quaffle loose. And turned over, Lost Boys ball. This is day 1 of World Cup 8. We'll move into bracket play tomorrow with 24 teams. And a big collision behind the hoops. Mentioned the aggressiveness of the Clone Stars, and one of the Lost Boys players felt that. And Alex Shear has stopped play. It looks as though he is going to present a card, just waiting on the official ruling. Alex Shear, as mentioned, the referee for our first game of the day. He is the referee of the year. He started the Toledo Quidditch program. And it looks as though he is going to present a yellow card. So that will result in a 1-minute penalty and a man advantage for the Lost Boys, who already lead this one 30-0. There's a discussion right now between Alex Shear and Hank Doogie, the player that collided with one of the players for the Lost Boys. The quaffle will be controlled by the Lost Boys behind the hoops. That pass is deflected. Good hands. Loose ball. And the Clone Stars have it. Still looking to get on the board. Lone Star is going to take their time. You remember, 30 points is not that big of a lead if you're the Lost Boys. You'd like to add at least one more goal before the Seeker floor, as that shot goes wide. And now the quaffle picked up by the Lost Boys, but Alex Shear, the head referee, has stopped play. Still a little bit of confusion right now on the pitch as to the official ruling. It will be Lost Boys quaffle. Oh, the quaffle, has been given to the Clone Stars. And now it's picked up by the Lost Boys after the bludger play. Another chance here for the Lost Boys. Avoiding the bludger, and that one off the hoop. No good. Missed opportunity for the Lost Boys. A lot of contact right behind the hoops. Looks as though that is Molly Petrowski, a little bit slow to get up for the Lost Boys. Despite the offensive advantage that we've seen so far for the Lost Boys, the aggressiveness of the Clone Stars has certainly made their mark in this game. The quaffle in possession of the Lost Boys. Brown threw it behind his back. This is Michael Cassier with it, and it's 40-0. If you're the Clone Stars, now is the time in which you have to respond. We are approaching the Seeker floor time. Bludger control still in favor of the Lost Boys. And they take advantage as the opportunity for the Clone Stars with Cole Travis was denied. And right back the other way, it's the Lost Boys making it 50-0. The Lost Boys captain is Chris Cito. Their lead chaser is Brandon Scapa. The leading beater is Peter Lee and Molly Petrowski. Molly Petrowski is the starting seeker. Plenty of bludgers loose. They are picked up by the Lost Boys. Possession of the quaffle in favor of the Clone Stars. We are here in Rock Hill, South Carolina on Carlisle Field here at the Manchester Meadows Complex. A huge soccer complex, a total of 10 pitches being used for today's event. Another chance for the Lost Boys, and once again, the Lost Boys good touch around the hoops. They make it 60-0. If you're the Clone Stars, this is not the start you would have hoped for coming to your first game. But to be fair, there's a reason that this Lost Boys team is ranked 3rd. Now the Lost Boys using their speed again, going to have a chance to score. Trying to avoid the bludger. Shot no good. Great effort there. That last opportunity for the Lost Boys was Peter Lee. Lee showed off some athleticism. Continues to be a beautiful day so far for the World Cup. The sun is shining, a little bit of clouds, but great conditions, high 70s. And the bludger play by the Lost Boys results in another turnover for the Clone Stars. Quaffle throwing opposite field, still loose. Now picked up by Brown, who avoids the tackle. Avoided another tackle, but now the quaffle is loose. Joan Lamb threw it ahead, now the ball is picked up. Lost Boys have it. Brandon Scapa, now this is Brown. Back to Scapa, too easy in front. Lost Boys putting on a show. And now a conversation between the referees. Taking a look at some of the other matchups that we have going on in the 9 other fields, you have the Warriors versus George Mason University, the Santa Barbara Blacktips versus the Macaulay Honors Marauders, Kansas Quidditch versus Oklahoma Baptist, Lone Star Quidditch, the top team in the USQ standings, taking on the Wizards of Westwood. Then you have Texas State University, San Marcos versus the Falcon Warriors Quidditch Club. That is the second team for BG Quidditch. And you have QC Boston, the Masker, taking on Osos de Muerte. Los Angeles Gambits taking on TC Frost. And North Carolina University taking on Ohio University. That rounds out the first round of games. It's the Clone Stars in possession of the quaffle, and the ball is knocked away. Bludger control has continued to be in favor of the Lost Boys, and they put one more on the board. Too easy for the Lost Boys. And they're really starting to spread the ball around offensively as well. That last goal was scored by Brandon Scapa. Soon, very soon, we will see the most exciting part of the game with the snitch. Good to see that the referees are taking control here early. And they are going to bring a new bludger onto the pitch. Lone Stars in control of the quaffle right at midfield. It's Hank Doogie with it. Tried to move it ahead. And the quaffle scooped up by the Lost Boys. And the tackle. And the Lost Boys recover. Saw the aggressiveness that time. Good communication by the Lost Boys. They can afford to be patient. Brandon Scapa with it. If you're the Lost Boys right now, you'd like to just continue to use up time until the snitch is loose. As the leg tackle unsuccessful for Doogie. Good passing and one more goal for the Lost Boys. This time it was Griffin Conlon putting it through the hoop. And that shot finally gets the Clone Stars on the board. And a tackle behind the hoops. The referee said that the goal was good. Head referee Alex Shear wants to confirm the call. The goal is good. The quaffle will be in possession of the Lost Boys. And they will move it up the field with a commanding lead. A little bit of a wrestling match going on behind the hoops for bludger control. But it is the Lost Boys who gain possession of another bludger. Quaffle is loose, still loose, and now it's picked up by the Clone Stars. Good aggressiveness up front. Also good bludger play to avoid any shots up front for the Lost Boys. Quaffle thrown behind the hoops, it's bobbled a bit. Still loose, and the bludger allows the Lost Boys to regain possession. One more for the Lost Boys as they remain in control. Bludger loose, and I don't think either side sees it. Quaffle right now in possession of the Clone Stars. And it's turned over to the Lost Boys. In front, good spin move. Shot no good. Possession regained. Now the tackle. Big hit for the Clone Stars. Laying that hit on was Dylan Freeman, one of the captains. Still a battle for the quaffle. Still loose. And the quaffle will be in possession of the Clone Stars. We will get you the score updates as soon as we have them. Once again, another stoppage in play with the quaffle in the possession of the Clone Stars. And we resume play. Looks as though we had a couple of substitutions for the Clone Stars. As they move the quaffle up the field, the shot is denied. A little bit low, but a good deflection just in case. Now pressure in midfield. Good bludger play. Now the quaffle thrown behind the hoops. And the tackle unsuccessful. Quaffle loose. 3 players there for the Clone Stars to scoop that one up. Good teamwork. Clone Stars will take their time working the quaffle up the field. That's really been the story of their play so far, has been their patience. The speed has been the difference, though, from the Lost Boys. And no one in sight for that pass as it's turned over to the Lost Boys. Lost Boys in possession of the quaffle. Fake pass that time, and then the tackle to avoid the bludger. And right at the ankles, great bludger play. That was Eric Bilanowski making the play for the Clone Stars. Now can they put another one through the hoop? And they do! That's got the Clone Stars team fired up. Looked as though scoring that one was Ryan Bowers. How do the Lost Boys respond? Well, they turn it over. Quaffle still loose. And now it's picked up by the Lost Boys. As though there was a trip there at the end, and there's going to be a card from head referee Alex Shear. The snitch is now on the pitch. So soon enough, the Seekers will get underway for their respective teams. Snitch getting loose at midfield as the Clone Stars have possession of the quaffle. Some physical play up front from the Lost Boys. Good ball movement. Here's the Clone Stars and slipping. Trying to avoid the bludger play. Turnover for the Clone Stars. Clone Stars have really started to gain momentum after the fast start from the Lost Boys. And a long shot, unsuccessful. All 3 bludgers are loose on the pitch right now. And 2 out of 3 are picked up by the Lost Boys. Quaffle in midfield. Pass just to the left of the hoops. And the tackle no good for the Lost Boys. Adam Wolf unsuccessful. Trying to add another goal for the Clone Stars. Now the bludger play is going to allow the Lost Boys to get a good shot opportunity. But the tackle by Adam Wolf right in front of the hoops denies that opportunity. A little bit slow to get up is Frank Gao. Though coming into the game will be Michael Holman. second match scheduled here on Carlisle Field will be the RIT Dark Marks versus the University of Missouri. Opportunity for the Clone Stars, unsuccessful. Quaffle picked up by the Lost Boys. Breaking down the Swiss format for this tournament, you're going to have 2 flights, 40 teams each. And the great thing about this format is that teams from the same region won't play one another in this first round. You're also keeping top-ranked teams from going against one another. And if you win your first game, you will play another 1-0 team. If you lose your first game, you'll play another 0-1 team. Lost Boys try to respond quickly, and they do. Continues to be a commanding lead for the Lost Boys as the snitch is loose, and the seeker right now for the Lost Boys is Molly Petrowski. She is the starting seeker. Petrowski's going to have her hands full because you're also going to receive, if you're the snitch, some defensive help from the Clone Stars as they try and work themselves back into the match. Quaffle picked up by the Lost Boys. Petrowski once again trying to get to the snitch. Right now she is being denied by Ryan Records. Ryan Records, the starting seeker for the Clone Stars. And the bludger play by the Lost Boys is going to allow Petrowski to go to work on the snitch. Petrowski with good length. You can see the strength from the snitch. Stoppage in play here for a moment. The Quaffle is in possession of the Clone Stars. The Clone Stars are based out of League City, Texas. This Clone Stars team is really a team that, for lack of a better word, can be considered a group full of misfits. Certain players that have graduated, certain players that did not want to play for their respective schools. Bludger play allows the Lost Boys to regain possession of the Quaffle. Thrown behind the hoops, great catch. And the score. Putting that one through for the Lost Boys was Michael Molman. Can't say enough about that catch by Molman. Petrowski, after the bludger, had to go back to her hoop. And now she will go right back at the snitch. Clone Stars now providing some defensive help for the snitch. For the Lost Boys, you're going to have to find a way to use your bludger. Give Petrowski even an opportunity to get to the snitch. And they do right there. And Petrowski, now hit by the bludger, will have to return to her respective hoop. Lead this match 110 to 20. It was Alex Brown who scored the first goal of the game for the Lost Boys. Now the Lost Boys going to try and provide some bludger play to allow Petrowski to go to work on the snitch, and she goes down hard. aggressiveness from the snitch that time. Petrowski looking over to her bench. She may be asking for a substitution. Good bludger play, stops another scoring opportunity for the Clone Stars. Petrowski now hit by the bludger. She'll head back to her goal. Looking at the history here for the World Cup, you remember in 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010, it was Middlebury College winning the World Cup. You look just through those first 4 years at how this World Cup has grown. Had just 2 teams in the World Cup back in 2007, the initial year, then 13 teams in 2008, 22 teams in 2009, and 46 teams in World Cup 4. We mentioned today we have a total of 80 teams participating in this year's World Cup. Last year's champion in World Cup 7 was the University of Texas at Austin. A total of 79 teams participated in that World Cup. University of Texas at Austin also won World Cup 6. That was when you had the split divisions, and University of Texas at Austin was the Division I World Cup champions. Sam Houston State was the D2 champions in 2013. They competed against a total of 17 teams in Division II. The first year that we saw the divisions was in 2011 for World Cup 5. Had Division I, Division II, and the high school division. Middlebury College, mentioned they won the first 4 years before the divisions. They also won World Cup 5 against 60 teams. Purdue University won against 25 teams in Division II, and it was Trinity Quidditch winning the high school division against 8 teams. Talking more about the total of 80 teams participating in this year's World Cup, you have 11 teams from the Mid-Atlantic region, 18 teams from the Midwest, 12 from the Northeast, 2 from the Northwest, 9 from the South, 17 from the Southwest, and 11 from the West. Opportunity for the Lost Boys. It is denied. That shot too low to be scored upon anyways. In control of the quaffle right now for the Clone Stars is Dylan Freeman. Pass behind the hoops. Slightly deflected, then the bludger play allows the Lost Boys to regain control. The Lost Boys have made a substitution with their seeker. It is no longer Molly Petrowski attacking the snitch. Wait and see just in a moment. Get a number for the Lost Boys. $10 to 20 still our score. Now thanks to the bludger play, it'll be one-on-one for the Lost Boys seeker and the snitch. Currently the seeker for the Lost Boys is Brandon Scapa. As the Clone Stars put one more through the hoops, it's now 30 points, but still an 80-point advantage for the Lost Boys. Clone Stars in possession of the quaffle. This Clone Star team was 4-3 at regionals as they now have their 4th goal of the game. They continue to cut into this Lost Boys lead. And a tackle right in front, a one-handed tackle. And I believe that's going to draw a card. Making the tackle was Eric Vilanowski. That drew some oohs and ahs from the crowd. And head referee Alex Shear giving an explanation as to why that call was made, and it will be a man advantage for the Lost Boys. The penalties certainly have come mostly from Clone Stars team, as the Lost Boys add one more goal. And the Clone Stars respond with a goal of their own. That was tough to see that number as to who scored that goal. Quaffle in possession of the Lost Boys. Lost Boys, the number 3 ranked overall seed in the World Cup. Clone Stars who have regained possession of the Quaffle. Lost Boys right now have the advantage in bludger control. They're going to have to create an opportunity for their seeker to attack the snitch. Quaffle is loose at the Lost Boys' end. And the push from behind. The referees raise their hand for a delayed call. The referees will confer on the call. Once again, it is Brandon Scapa working against the snitch for the Lost Boys, but the snitch is receiving some help from number 83 for the Clone Stars, Ryan Bowers. It's going to be tough enough for the Lost Boys to try and capture the snitch, not just because of the aggressiveness of the snitch, but because of the physicality that we've seen throughout this match from the Clone Stars. Sun continues to shine here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Still have a slight breeze, making it great conditions for all teams competing in this year's World Cup.
No, I'm pretty sure this is still the first game. Stitches on the field first, and he's only got one on.
Brandon Scapa knocked down by the snitch. One-on-one right now, as Lost Boys put one more goal on the board.
What's the score? Is that 11-2?
Right now your score 130-50. An 80-point advantage remains for the Lost Boys. To remind everyone that our next match right here on Carlisle Field will be RIT Dark Marks versus the University of Missouri. Lost Boys have possession of the Quaffle. They're just looking for that all-important snitch catch. A reminder to everyone joining me here on this broadcast to tune in at 7 o'clock tonight for a roundtable with the Quidditch experts. Scape going to work against the Snitch. He's got one-on-one play right now. Lost Boys going to continue to try and pad their lead, and the tackle once again. Another strong tackle from Dylan Freeman. Captain has done his share of the dirty work for the Clone Stars, who have possession of the quaffle. Now Freeman hit. Quaffle turned over. Looks as though Molly Petrowski back in at Seeker for the Lost Boys. And the Snitch is currently down to one hand as the Lost Boys score one more goal. One-on-one for Petrowski against the Snitch. So far, Petrowski just hasn't quite had that reach to grab the Snitch and end this match. Great opportunity there. Everyone in attendance here at Carlisle Field keeping their eyes on the Snitch catch. Petrowski, after having to return to her goal, will come back out, trying to loosen up that right arm. Now the bludger play, one-on-one Petrowski versus the Snitch. She has to take advantage. And the bludger play allows Petrowski to continue to be one-on-one with the Snitch. One more goal for the Lost Boys. Now a triple-digit lead for the Lost Boys from California. Petrowski just pushed away that time by the Snitch. Have to see how long Petrowski stays out on the pitch for the Lost Boys. The other Snitch that we've seen for the Lost Boys has been Brandon Scapa. Petrowski being denied by defender for the Clone Stars. It's being pushed away. Petrowski has to be starting to wear down. As Dom Ganyu is doing the defending for the Clone Stars to try and deny Petrowski any opportunity to capture the Snitch. Right now it's Petrowski one-on-one, and she has captured the Snitch, and that is it. The Lost Boys in our opening match here at Carlisle Field have defeated the Clone Stars. Lost Boys, number 3 ranked team, got off to a quick offensive start, and there is a little bit of conference right now between the referees. This shouldn't be a legal Snitch catch. Still waiting on the official ruling. And they're going to say no Snitch catch. The referees confer, so just when you thought it was over for the Clone Stars, the Lost Boys are going to have to go back to work with Petrowski as the seeker. Petrowski avoided the bludger. Another goal for the Lost Boys. Right now you're just concerned their seeker is Petrowski down on the pitch. A few of the players for the Lost Boys making their way out of the field. Check on Petrowski, who is still down. This is key for the Lost Boys. You hope Petrowski is okay. She is their starting seeker. Might very well see Scapa come back in as the seeker. If Petrowski is not able to go, she's being helped up off the pitch. Receiving a hand from the crowd. Petrowski leaning on that right foot or left leg, injured right now. We hope the best for Molly Petrowski. Lost Boys were so close to their 24th win of the season, coming in with that record of 23-2. Petrowski looked as though she had the snitch. The referees conferred, and it was not a snitch catch, keeping the Clone Stars alive in this one. We will resume play here in a moment. The snitch coming back out onto the pitch. It's the Clone Stars in possession of the quaffle. The new seeker for the Lost Boys is Alex Brown, who got things started offensively for the Lost Boys. Brown once again will have to go through one of the defenders for the Clone Stars, with Ganyu helping out the snitch. See if Brown can give the Lost Boys the victory. Lost Boys possession of the quaffle, commanding lead, and the snitch catch. Wait on the official call. And it is a snitch catch. Alex Shear has ended our first match here at Carlisle Field. The Lost Boys have captured the snitch. They have defeated the Clone Stars, and it's going to be a good start for the team from California as the Lost Boys pick up their 24th win of the season. The Clone Stars will drop to 5-15 as they shake hands. Coming up in our next match, it will be the RIT Dark Marks versus the University of Missouri. Please stay with us here on the U.S. Quidditch World Cup 8 live stream. And we are underway with our second match of the day here on Carlisle Field. This is the RIT Dark Marks taking on the University of Missouri. Once again, I am Brad Woznicki. Thank you for joining me here at World Cup 8 here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. We are underway with our second match of the day. It's the RIT Dark Marks currently in possession of the quaffle. It is Missouri who has 2 out of 3 of the bludgers. The Dark Marks try and get on the board. The pass from behind the hoops. And it is the RIT Dark Marks getting on the board first, 10-0. The response for Missouri was denied. Taking a look at this RIT Dark Marks team, they were started in 2009. They are from Rochester, New York. A record of 14-6 coming into this game. They're ranked 31st in the USQ standings. They were eliminated in the round of 32 last year. And the University of Missouri has tied this one up at 10. Looking at the season for University of Missouri coming in to this World Cup, they come in with a record of 13-10. They are 49th in the USQ standings. Last season they were eliminated in pool play at World Cup 7 in North Myrtle Beach. University of Missouri has participated in the 3rd annual Kansas Cup, the Cowboy Cup, Midwest Regional Championship, the Hog Wars Cup, and the Spring Breakout. And going back in front, the RIT Dark Marks make it 20-10. How will Missouri respond? And the quaffle is loose. It's going to be a foot race. Quaffle still loose, kicked away. That one's saved just before the line. Tackle out of bounds. Yellow card is going to be given to the University of Missouri, so that will be a one-man advantage for the RIT Dark Marks, a chance to add to their lead. They currently lead this one 20-10. A 2-1 advantage in bludger control for the University of Missouri. Pass in front, and it's good. The hoop was knocked down, but that will not deny RIT Dark Marks from making it 30-10. Saw the fast start from the Lost Boys in our first match of the day. After the snitch catch by Alex Brown. The Lost Boys coming out on top over the Clone Stars. And good bludger play results in a turnover. Missouri has the quaffle. The sun continues to shine here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Still a little bit of a breeze. A great condition so far for World Cup 8. This is just the first of 2 days. Bracket play will begin tomorrow at 9 a.m. Waffle picked up by the Dark Marks. We're not given the respective numbers for the team rosters. We apologize for not having the names of each and every one of these players for their respective teams. And one more goal for the Dark Marks, number 42, scoring that to make it 40-10. That's 3 unanswered from the Dark Marks. Missouri trying to respond, trying to cut the lead in half. Shot is blocked. Number 42 picks it up for the Dark Marks, going the other way. No Bludger in front, just trying to push his way to the hoop and is punched away right through the hoop. Great effort by Missouri. Now Missouri flying down the sideline. And the tackle. Good hustle by the Dark Marks to get back on defense. Now the quaffle right at midfield. Missouri has it. It's picked up by number 1. And good play in front. The keeper denies that opportunity. Missouri has made it a 40-20 game. Time now for our score update. As mentioned, the Lost Boys defeated Clone Star Quidditch Club 190-60 in our first match here on field number 1. It was the Warriors defeating George Mason University 130-40. Michigan Quidditch all over the Silver Phoenix 170-20. Santa Barbara Black Tips winning 160-30 over Macaulay Honors. And Kansas Quidditch 140-30 over Oklahoma Baptist University. And Lone Star Quidditch Club, the top team in the World Cup, with an impressive performance against the Wizards of Westwood, winning 130-40. Texas State University San Marcos defeating the Falcon Warriors Quidditch Club. Falcon Warriors Quidditch Club ranked 80th in the overall seeds. QC Boston the Massacre over on field 8 defeated Osos de Muerte 210-20. Los Angeles Gambits defeating TC Frost 150-20. And North Carolina University defeating Ohio University 120-40. The scoreboard being reset here at Carlisle Field. Score right now 30-30. We're all knotted up. And no longer, as Missouri has taken their first lead 40-30. Just when you thought that RIT was going to go on a run, it's 3 unanswered from Missouri. Waffle being controlled. Now the pass is thrown into no man's land. The Bludger play is going to allow the Dark Marks to pick it up. The tackle right at midfield. The Bludger play will keep it in the hands of the Dark Marks. Dark Marks need a score, trying to tie this one up at 40. Still early on in our second Quidditch match of the day. University of Missouri taking on the RIT Dark Marks. In front, the shot off the rim of the right hoop. Waffle picked up by Missouri. Waffle at midfield. Missouri trying to go right up the middle. A couple of tackles being avoided. The spin move, and it's 50-30. 4 unanswered for Missouri. To 30 our score. University of Missouri coming in as the 49th overall seed, as RIT Darkmarks have gotten back to within a goal. 50-40 our score. Waffle at midfield, one-on-one play, and the referee blew the whistle. And tackle right in front, knocked the Quaffle loose. Aggressiveness from the Darkmarks in front of their own goal. But that did not stop Missouri. It's 60-40. Missouri goes right back in front by 2. How will RIT respond? Darkmarks coming in as the 31st overall seed. Bludger play, knock the Quaffle loose. Darkmarks have it, and they heave it right down to their own bench. Darkmarks do have it. Not even a player past midfield for Missouri on that Quaffle throw. Darkmarks in possession of the Quaffle. Trying to work their way up the field with the Bludger control in front. Kind of an awkward pass to the sideline. Now the Quaffle is loose. Going to be a great opportunity here for Missouri. Bludger play allows the Darkmarks to regain possession. Great passing back and forth, trying to avoid the Bludger. Good play by number 99 for Missouri. Darkmark's going to try and find a way to get back within 1. Wanted to mention a couple of the teams that withdrew from this tournament after bids were announced for the World Cup. Marquette University, along with Florida Gulf Coast, Grand Valley, and Boise State all withdrew from the tournament, giving 4 other schools the opportunity to participate in this year's World Cup. A big question coming into this year's World Cup is, will someone defeat the University of Texas at Austin? They are the 2-time defending champs. This is the largest field that the World Cup has ever had since starting in 2007. 2-goal lead for Missouri. Quaffle being possessed by the Darkmarks, and a pass well over the head. The Bludger misses. Now a chance, and off the hands. Recovered. That ball was dunked home by number 42. As the Darkmarks back to within 1. Number 42 for the Darkmarks has certainly made an impact on this second match, both in front of the goal and defensively. And the Bludger play gives it right back to the Darkmarks. Another team that you're going to have to keep your eye on in the World Cup will be Baylor. Baylor possibly one of the favorites to win this year's World Cup and knock off the University of Texas at Austin. The Lone Stars, again, the #1 seed coming into this. So we have a 1-goal game here at Carlisle Field. Here at the Manchester Meadows complex. Successful on that opportunity for Missouri. Trying to push their lead back to 2 goals. And now the Quaffle in possession of the Dark Marks. Last year, the World Cup was at North Myrtle Beach. The year prior, for World Cup 6, it was in Kissimmee, Florida, right in the Orlando area. For the first 3 World Cups, the World Cup was held in Middlebury, Vermont, and World Cup 4 was in New York City. The World Cup has managed to find their way to have the event in a warmer climate over the past 3 years. Quaffle unable to be put through the hoops by Missouri. Still have not been able to get back to that 2-goal lead, and the bludger play allows the Dark Marks to gain control of the Quaffle. Trying to work the Quaffle up the field quickly, some physical play, just pulling the way to the goal, but the shot was no good. Now Missouri again on the attack. $60-50 our score. Missouri leading the RIT Dark Marks from Rochester, New York. Shot attempt too low that time. It was blocked just in case as the Quaffle still loose. Now picked up by the Dark Marks. This is number 11. Avoiding the tackle, trying to get to the goal, and we are tied at 60. The crowd likes that effort. This has really been a back-and-forth match after the Dark Marks got out to a 30-10 lead. Had 4 unanswered goals by Missouri. The Snitch is now on the pitch and trying to gain a tan, I might add, going shirtless. Seekers will be on the pitch here very soon. Tied at 60. And now the Dark Marks go in front. This is where the Dark Marks are going to try and really be aggressive. Either way, you can have the Dark Marks or Missouri go after the Snitch. Just a 1-goal difference. Right now it's number 42 for the Dark Marks going to work against the Snitch, and the Snitch a little bit crafty that time, avoided the contact. Still waiting to see the Seeker for Missouri go after the Snitch. It's the bludger play. You just saw the first opportunity for Missouri with their Seeker. And the bludger play will send the Missouri Seeker back to his respective goal. It's the Dark Marks in control of the Quaffle, trying to dunk it. It was good, they say, after the referees conferred. We are tied at 70. Excuse me, after that last goal, it is an 80-70 lead. Now we're tied at 80 after the quick response by Missouri. One-on-one for the Missouri Seeker versus the Snitch. Darkmark's going to try and use the bludger, and great job to avoid the bludger contact. Number 4 really working hard for Missouri, chasing the Snitch now hit by the bludger. And the Darkmarks have sent in a new Seeker as there's a player down in front of the Missouri goals. During this injury timeout, I want to take time to mention that our next match, scheduled for a 10:40 start, will be Florida's Finest versus the Crimson Warhawks. That game will be played right here at Carlisle Field. Good to see the player for Missouri is back on his feet. Seen a couple of scary plays here in just our first 2 matches. Saw Molly Petrowski go down for the Lost Boys in our first match. She had to be helped off the field, but for Missouri, their player able to walk off the field under his own power. A 90-80 lead for the Darkmarks as we resume play. It's one-on-one for the Missouri Seeker versus the Snitch. And both Seekers are knocked out by the bludger. Missouri has just tied this game at 90. And the bludger play will make it one-on-one for Missouri versus the Snitch. A lot of aggressive play from the Darkmarks. Now the bludger play will give the Snitch a moment to breathe. Shot opportunity for the Darkmarks was denied. And now the Darkmarks do go in front. 190. You are just joining us. We are going with the Swiss format for this year's World Cup. 2 flights, 40 teams each. What's great about the format for this first round is that teams from the same region won't play one another. Also, the top ranked teams won't go against one another in the first round because of the way this year's tournament is set up. A total of 80 teams in this year's World Cup. University of Texas at Austin become a 3-time champ? Or will they be denied by one of the other 79 teams in this year's World Cup? We're tied at 100. There's a player down for the Darkmarks. Darkmarks were just trying to hide the quaffle. Now it's picked up by Missouri. Snitch right now is all alone. The Seekers starting to make their way towards the snitch. Gonna try and play a chess match. Perhaps let one Seeker go after the snitch. Now the bludger play. And that shot for the Dark Marks, no good. Hit the bottom of the hoop. We stay tied at 100. Bludger played by Missouri. Now Missouri unable to score as they try to get back in front. Missouri held this lead for a good portion of the match. Now the Quaffle in control and streaking down the sideline is number 37 for the Dark Marks. Now the tackle. Battle for the Quaffle. And Missouri has it. Just when you think the Dark Marks have their best chance to go in front, it's denied by the defensive play of Missouri. The snitch all alone right now. Now the Seeker for Missouri. On the attack, it's number 4 still working for Missouri. If either team can capture the snitch, this one will be done. As Missouri goes in front, 110 to 100. Now it's the battle for the Dark Marks, one-on-one with the snitch. Number 13 for the Dark Marks, hit by the bludger. RIT Dark Marks unable to tie this one up. It's now a 2-goal lead for Missouri. The Quaffle is loose. The referee has stopped play. It will be Missouri ball. And the referee, our head referee for our second match, receiving some encouragement from the crowd here in front of the broadcast booth. To 100 our score in just our second match of the day. Lost Boys defeating Clone Star Quidditch Club 190 to 60 in our first match of the day here at Carlisle Field. The bludger controlled by Missouri, trying to give their Seeker the best opportunity to capture the snitch. One-on-run right now between the Seeker for the Dark Marks and the snitch. And it's going to be a question here as to whether the Seeker for the Dark Marks made the capture of the snitch or not. There was a bludger that came in at the last second. The referee is going to confer. This could be it, maybe not. 5 referees getting together. And that is it. The RIT Dark Marks, after trailing 120 to 100, the snitch catch, we're going to take this one 130 to 120. It was number 11 for the Dark Marks making the snitch catch. And that is the end of our second match of the day here in Carlisle Field. With the victory for the Dark Marks over Missouri, we will take a break. Our scheduled start time for our third match coming up at 10:40. Stay with us here on the U.S. Quidditch World Cup 8 live stream.
Welcome back to Manchester Meadows here in Rock Hill, South Carolina for our third match of the World Cup 8 of Quidditch. Once again, I am Brad Woznicki. Our third match of the day features the Crimson Warhawks taking on Florida's Finest. We are currently tied at 30-all. Thank you for staying with us during our production adjustments that we made. Tried to put another camera down in the field, but had to go right back up to our game camera. Continue to try and make improvements for this broadcast as it goes on. As Florida's Finest, they call themselves the Flamingos, goes back in front 40-30. Take a look at Florida's Finest. They are the 8th overall seed in this World Cup, a record of 20-1. They were the 9th ranked team in the USQ standings, the South Regional champions. And last season, Florida's Finest was eliminated in the round of 16. The tournaments they participated in this year include Canes Classic, the 2nd annual Renegade Cup, Scottish Highland Games, and of course the South Regional Championship, where, as mentioned, they won the title. As we take a look now at the Crimson Warhawks season, they are from Lawrence, Kansas. They are the Kansas Quidditch second team. Warhawks, a record of 8-11. They are ranked 91st in the USQ standings. They were eliminated in pool play last year. The events they've participated in this year were the 3rd annual Kansas Cup, the Cowboy Cup, the Sunflower Cup, the Midwest Regional Championship, and a very familiar name, the Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl. You'll remember that from the movie Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell. Right here on Field 1, on Carlisle Field here at the Manchester Meadows Complex. Currently a 40-30 lead for Florida's Finest. In the 2 games we've seen so far today, we saw the Lost Boys over the Clone Stars in our first game. And then in our second game, it was Missouri falling short to the RIT Darkmarks. RIT Darkmarks with the snitch catch came out on top, 130-120. Right now, it's the Warhawks in possession of the quaffle. They avoided a couple of bludgers, and we're tied at 40. Scoring that one for the Warhawks was their captain, David Mora, as the Flamingos try to respond. Florida's Finest, and they go right back in front 50-40. Tough to tell with the striped uniforms who scored that goal for Florida's Finest. Looked as though as number 5, Sean Snipes, as the snitch for our third match, greeting the crowd and wearing a very fancy vest. $50-40 our score. Florida's Finest in front, trying to make it a 2-goal lead, but the bludger play denies that opportunity, and the Warhawks have the quaffle. Trying to pull his way forward for the Warhawks is number 55. It is John Holmgren. It's Florida's Finest who recovers the quaffle. With it for Florida's Finest is Tyrell Bird. Trying to avoid a couple of bludgers. Puts his arm through the hoop, and he dunks it home. No, they're going to say it was denied. And right back the other way. The Warhawks tie this one at 50. Garrett Gerard scoring that one. match starting to look a lot like our second match. We're back and forth, neither team really able to gain a lead. In our first match, it was all Lost Boys jumping out to a huge lead. It was just a matter of time before the snitch catch. Florida's Finest right back in front, 60-50. Just a short amount of time, the snitch will be released to the seeker floor. Number 23 with it for the Warhawks. That is Paris Nichols. Now Waffle Loose picked up by Florida's Finest. With it for Florida's Finest is number 26, Jack Harper. Now the Quaffle in possession of number 18 and the score, Devin McCoy. A 2-goal lead for Florida's Finest, 70-50 our score. Our scheduled start time for our fourth game of the day is 11:20 right here at Carlisle Field. We'll continue to give you score updates as they come about. A bludger play, unsuccessful for the Warhawks as Florida's Finest makes it 80-50. Looked as though that was Tyrell Bird again for Florida's Finest. Of the day for these two teams. Fresh legs out there on the pitch. Now the Quaffle thrown away. It's going to be picked up by Florida's Finest. Scooping it up. Sean Pagoda. Pagoda looking for some room. Going to tackle. Throws it behind the hoops. Now the Quaffle's loose. And the bludger play will give it to the Warhawks. 30-point lead. I think if Florida's Finest can preserve this one, they're going to be in great position for a snitch catch. But still, you want to give a little more cushion to your lead. So the Warhawks slowly moving the Quaffle up the field. Now a sprint. Pass behind is bobbled. The Warhawks there, perhaps you would have liked to see John Palmgren try and take that one himself. And Quaffle thrown away, right into the Warhawks bench. Now picked up by Florida's Finest, now the Quaffle knocked loose. Warhawks in possession of the Quaffle, trailing by 30. To 50 our score. Snitch getting loose for our third match. Trying to get some excitement going with the crowd. It's Florida's Finest in front, 90-50. And while we have a moment, I'd like to introduce first color commentator for today, Daniel Shapiro from the University of Missouri. Daniel, how you doing?
Would have been nicer coming off the victory, but otherwise good.
Yeah, very close match. Played against the RIT Dark Marks. They came out on top just by 10 with that snitch catch.
Yeah, no, trust me, I missed the goal as they grabbed it, so that one's going to be sticking with me all day. But as far as this match goes, I came over when it was tied, or I think Warhawks were actually up, and it's a bit shocking, because the Warhawks, they're always a young team. They're KU's B team, and Florida's Finest is an amalgamation of previous years, all that stuff, so like lots of veteran players, and I'm kind of proud of Warhawks for sticking in it right now. I'm hoping they're trying to play defense though on Snitch.
What do you think of the shiny vest for the snitch, who is now loose?
Well, Big Daddy Craig Garrison over there, I love that man. Played with him, had him snitch games. I've not ever tried to seek against him because it's incredibly difficult. Dude, he has such a massive wingspan, and he's also just strong as an ox. So Craig is one of those snitches that it's going to be a nightmare for the Seekers. He'll just be able to box them out too well. It doesn't shock me that he has a shiny vest. Shiny vest kind of fits his personality, although he's just ditched it.
Perhaps a little bit warm maybe for the vest as breeze is starting to slow down a bit here at Carlisle Field in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Sun continues to shine. Really, you couldn't ask for better conditions for this World Cup.
Yeah, I'm from the Midwest, so we're not used to nice conditions. I think this is the first tournament this year that my team has worn shorts and not pants. You couldn't ask for better weather. It's blue skies, nice clouds, so at least we get some shade. And it's a quality facility. I'm not gonna say it's a world better than Myrtle Beach was, but it's very, very nice. The fields are well manicured. Everything. It's running smoother this year than it has in years past.
You heard Alex Benepi prior to the match during the opening ceremonies make a little bit joke saying things were running 15 minutes ahead of time for the first time in all of the World Cup.
Well, World Cup 6 when I was announcing due to Mizzou not qualifying, I remember I was announcing on field at one on both days. We started 15 minutes late due to the now infamous Harlem Shake that was performed at World Cup 6 where the speaker blew out. And so Alex had to restart the shake, and it was a mess. In fact, if you and myself plug USQ plug right now, if you go back and look at the IQA 2013-2014 or 2012-2013 season highlight reel, we have that Harlem Shake in there just because it's a massive field. If you look in the bottom right corner, you can look at me and a referee just not amused, and we're like, let's get going.
After an injury here for the Crimson Warhawks, one of their players is going to be helped off the field.
I can't see the number, but that might be David. Warhawks are pretty close to Mizzou, so man, I really can't. I need a number or binoculars.
One of the medics on standby is coming over to help out the situation. Right now you have Florida's Finest leading the Crimson Warhawks 100-60. And as always, when you see an injury, you just hope the best for the players for their respective teams. And now we are back underway. And Florida's Finest has pushed their lead to 50.
Not really shocked by that, due to the fact that once the snitch is on the field, it's a whole different game. People can run wild. That's where I had my 2 goals in the Mizzou RIT game, because defenses just fall apart. People that can drive the ball strong, as we're seeing right now with number 55 from the Warhawks, they own the day. You know, a beater would have ended his reign by then. Except great D by the Flamingos right there. They stopped a keeper like a foot from their goal.
Currently, the seeker for Florida's finest is Emilio de Narvaez. We also have the seeker for the Crimson Warhawks starting to do some work against the snitch. And one more goal for Florida's finest as they continue to increase their lead. This was a back and forth match early. The Florida's finest continues to push their lead as they look for their first win in this year's World Cup.
It doesn't really shock me. The Warhawks, like I said, they're a B team, so there's lots of youth and inexperience. That's how the Warhawks have always been before they graduate to KU Blue. Whereas the Flamingos, they're one of the most experienced teams in the league because, you know, they pull from USF, from Miami. Curtis Taylor, I believe, is the South Regional Director. He's from Marquette. Their players are old, seasoned. They've been on this stage before. A lot of the Warhawks, their first year playing. Fun fact, I helped name the Warhawks one day when their then President Doug Whiston just asked me what was a better name between Crimson Warhawks and Red Scare. And I figured, you know, we didn't want them to get accused of communism.
Shot opportunity was denied there for Florida's finest, but they still have a 60-point lead.
Is that Pagoda seeking right now? And yeah, the seeker for Florida's finest right now is Sean Pagoda, who made Team USA as a beater, but I was on the selection committee for Team USA, so I can tell you that we selected him as a beater from the South, but really he's just one of the better, quite possibly the best all-around utility player in the game. You know, you can give him the ball in any situation and he's going to thrive, whether that ball be a bludger or a quaffle, or, you know, if he's trying to grab a yellow sock off of a snitch, which it looks like he might have grabbed it.
Made the tackle on the snitch, waiting for the official call.
So how I saw it was Craig fell onto Sean, so Pagoda grabbed it as he was on top of him. Now this is a gray area. They're going to go consult this. This could very well be called good, because if Craig never touched the ground, he is still a live snitch. Pagoda grabbed him as he was on top of him.
Pagoda was probably the best matchup to go against the length of the snitch because of his aggressiveness and his stockiness. That's why he's able to push his way forward like we saw right there.
Yeah, Sean has the ability to tuck and drive, you know, and he's not bulky, he's not stocky, but he's got broad shoulders and shifty hands. So that's why Florida's finest is going to him right now.
And it was not a snitch catch for Pagoda, so we will resume play. Still an opportunity for the Crimson Warhawks to try and get back into this one.
And here comes Devin. So Devin McCoy there, Devin Potter on Facebook to all you fans that would like to get to know him. Wonderful man. I did not recognize him. I've gone on lots of car rides with McCoy there. He shaved his dreads. He used to be famous for two things. His dreads, well, three things. His dreads, Warhawks with a nice alley-oop goal.
As Pagoda continues to try and work hard against the snitch, but the bludger will now give the opportunity for the seeker for the Crimson Warhawks to go against the snitch.
So, I don't know if,
that is, you can see, it's Alex Wilson for the Crimson Warhawks, the seeker right now.
I don't know if the cast caught that, but we actually just saw a brilliant play by the Warhawk beater. Another goal finest. They're beginning to run away with it. Pagoda's, at this point, it's just how long before they can catch a snitch, or Warhawk suicide. You know, Warhawks are driving downfield alone.
And there's the snitch catch. Pagoda, some nifty moves, twisting his body. Gets the snitch catch, and that's going to be a 180 to 70 final. As Florida's finest dominates in their first match of the day.
Yeah, no, the Warhawks are young. They know this. It's a building year for them. It's getting used to the toughness of World Cup. Florida's finest, they've been here, like I've said before. and that's how KU sustains their great success. Every year they're in the top 20. Every year they lose like a Star Chaser and just another one arrives because they have such a good farm system with the Warhawks.
So Florida's Finest coming in as the number 8 seed overall in this year's World Cup. 8 picks up their 21st win of the season as they defeat the Crimson Warhawks. And we'll be back with our next match at 11:20 here on the US Footage live stream.